Hi, Gordon here with another edition of the Unscripted series. Today I'm going to talk about humidity and humidifiers. So we get asked often, do I need to put my ukulele in a humidified environment? Do I need to use a humidifier? Do I need to keep it in the case, etc.? So here's how we feel about that. We build in an environment that is roughly 50% humidity. It is one of the greatest environments to build in. And here's why. Because when you store the wood, it acclimates to that environment. So wood, I'm going to use this piece of paper. Imagine this is the top of the instrument. You know, wood, as the humidity changes, will expand and contract. And it will do it both, along the long axis and along the short axis. So along the grain and across the grain. It expands in both directions. It expands more along the grain, but that doesn't really matter. So it expands and contracts as the humidity changes. So when our wood is here, which it has been for a number of years, it acclimates to our environment. Then when we build the instrument, we take that, that top, and we glue it on to the sides of the instrument. You see that in our Birth of a Miyamoe video. When we do that, we kind of lock it in place. So now what happens when the humidity changes? Well, if you get increases in humidity, then this wood wants to expand, and the only thing it can do is that. As it expands, it's going to wrinkle a little bit. Not a big problem, and as the humidity changes back, it'll change back as well. But as the humidity goes down, then that wood wants to contract, and it has nowhere to go. It's been glued to the sides. And so what's going to happen is it wants to pull apart. And if it wants to pull apart strongly enough, it will crack. And obviously that's not good. I had a luthier that I respect quite a lot tell me a number of years ago, he said, most ukuleles that are built in Hawaii and come to the mainland will eventually crack. And the reason is they are built in very high humidity. Not all of them, but many of them, because Hawaii is very humid. They come over here, they dry out, and they do have that tendency. Now, it depends on where they're being taken to. I think that an instrument can easily withstand minus 30% humidity from where it was built. So in our case, I think you can go down to 25 or 20% humidity, relative humidity, and you're okay. But when you get into the teens and the single digits, that's an issue. And it's a very serious issue. So if you live in places like Denver, Las Vegas, Albuquerque, Santa Fe, Phoenix, and many others, you know what they are, those dry environments. If you live in one of those areas, you have to take special care. And don't think you can just put your ukulele in a case with a humidifier. That may be enough, but I would advise going on Amazon and buying a hydrometer that measures humidity. They are not expensive, but get an accurate one. I've got a little dial one that I use, and it's very accurate. You can look at their specs and see that it's accurate. You just don't want a piece of junk, obviously. So you want to measure that humidity and make sure that that humidifier is doing its job. We have an owner, owns more than 10 of our instruments in Denver. She obviously is very tuned into the humidity, checks what it is, has her ukuleles on a wall, and has a humidifier going full time on the floor underneath those instruments. That's how much it takes just to keep those instruments humid enough that nothing bad happens. So for most of you out there, it's something you just don't have to worry about. You're in a decent environment, what I think of as decent. It's not too dry, right? So you're in an environment not that dissimilar to what we're building in here, and you can keep your instrument on the wall and just not worry about it. But it's one of those things that you either don't have to worry about it at all, or if you do have to worry about it, you have to worry about it a lot and make sure that not only is it humidified, but it's humidified correctly. Any questions? Let me know. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.